Congressman Mike Kelly is fired up that the IRS leaked tax records and tried to withhold a tax status from a Christian organization simply because that organization has biblical views that some bureaucrats thought were too closely aligned with Republican politics. He joins us now to discuss it. Congressman, thank you so much for also raising awareness for all of this. This story is insane. Tell us what happened, because from what I understand, this has to do with one particular Christian charity, Christians Engaged, and they were told, the IRS told them that they were not eligible or entitled to tax-exempt status just because that some Republicans happen to think a lot like they do. That sounds like a really, really weird measure to me.
Yeah, when you say weird, you're being very kind. This is something that's become kind of a continual abuse by the IRS. They pick and choose who they want to go after. And unfortunately, in this case, they go after Christians Engaged, and they try to pull us in to say, well, a lot of these beliefs that you have, this biblical reference that you have, and a lot of these things that you really believe in, they're too closely aligned to the Republican Party. We're not going to give you that tax-free status. Now, if you were to talk to the IRS today, they'd say, oh, no, we pulled back on that. That was a mistake, only because they got exposed for doing it. Had this not come out, had we had not heard about it, had there not been a pushback, this would have gone into effect. And the IRS tells me all the time, no, Congressman, you really have to give us a little bit of time. As you know, the time is the one thing we don't have. And I think you and I would agree, and all the folks that we talk to every day would agree, this country, our nation right now, the people of this nation, our citizens are losing faith and confidence and trust in a form of government. 1.5 million people have given their lives to defend. Every office holder takes that same oath to support and defend the Constitution. And we constantly have these bureaucrats making decisions as to what really falls into what it is that we want to have people to see. So it's a way of censoring people, but it's a way of attacking people. When President Trump's tax releases were exposed a couple years ago, at that time we were in a meeting with our Ways and Means group, and I said, listen, if the President of the United States cannot be assured that his taxes and his tax returns are confidential, every single American is vulnerable at this point, because they fear, by the way, they being the IRS, they fear absolutely no one on the other side of it. Everyone fears them.
No, that's a really great point, talking with Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania. And what gets me is that if their justification, the IRS's justification to withhold this exemption to Christians Engaged, to deny them this, is based upon they have their positions being so similar to that of Republicans, well, I'm just surprised that they didn't see the precedent that they would be establishing, because Planned Parenthood, they donate to 99.9% Democrats, and Democrats in Planned Parenthood, their principles and positions are exactly the same. Why? I mean, I'm sure that they could see that could be applied in that manner.
Well, do you know what? First of all, I want to thank you, because throughout the years, you have been a big defender of the Constitution, and say there's not two different constitutions, one that you like and one that you will support and defend, and one that you're just not too sure of. And so you'll bend it, move it, do anything you can to make it fit whatever it is you want to do that day. And this censorship, which is taking place throughout our country, is the scariest thing of all. So, but as you come down to this, so when somebody has the audacity at the IRS to say, well, we reviewed this, and unfortunately, this is too pro-Republican. And I would just suggest to them, you know what, you need to get out of your chair and get to church and find out there are millions upon millions upon millions of Christians in the United States. I don't care how they're registered. I don't care how they vote. Their rights are being rescinded and taken away from them. If you can say, the IRS will make a determination on whether we want this to go forward or whether we want to rescind it, we are really in much scarier times than we understand. But thanks to you and what you've done, when you expose this, all of a sudden they run for shelter. The one thing they don't like is sunlight. You know that. You can't put it on that sun guard to protect yourself when you're in that position. So they want to run from shelter. They want to hide for things. And they want to say, oh, no, nothing wrong here. Just move along. Yeah, look, we keep going through this with them. My goodness, whenever they expose, some information got to ProPublica, right? They started putting out there people's tax returns, usually wealthy people, because they were trying to talk about this wealth gap, tax gap, that these rich people aren't paying their fair share. So the idea is you can go in there and expose different people And it starts off with those that people would identify and say, oh, yeah, Bill Gates, his taxes cut. Oh, yeah, Warren Buffett, yeah, we should go after him. Next thing it's going to start hitting Bill Smith and Jim Jones and Sally Jones. It starts at the top and works its way through. It's another way of censoring people. It's another way of dividing us as a nation, picking winners over losers and saying that somehow these people aren't paying their fair share and we're going to expose them for it, except for the people we don't want to expose.
Let me ask you this, Congressman, too.
Sure.
I mean, how is the IRS held accountable in something like this? Because it's insane to me that they even get to make these determinations and that they're given as much power as they're given. But how does, as you were just telling me, it's very difficult even to get just basic information from them. You have to wait months just to get a letter answering some questions. So how do you hold them accountable?
Well, you should do it through oversight, right? We have oversight on Ways and Means, our oversight subcommittee. One of the things we're supposed to do is to have oversight, and we're supposed to be the people looking out for our hardworking American taxpayers. We're the ones that are representing them and making sure that things are in place the right way, and there's an accountability. Now, during this pandemic, my chief of staff, Tim Butler, is with me, and this is a shout out for every single congressional office in the United States. Each of those offices has become the IRS representative for our citizens. The IRS was shut down for a great period of time, working from home and not getting their work done. Dana, we have, I think, 11 million tax returns, some as far back as 2019 that haven't even been looked at yet. And so people are asking me, I haven't got my refund. I have money coming to me, and say, well, as soon as they get through their backlog, we'll see what we can do to help you. But each of us, representatives now, are doing the best we can with staffs that are working as hard as they can to make sure the people whose money is being withheld is being handled the right way, and we're getting it back to them if they have a refund coming.